You're listening to Small Business Talk with Jerry. Sit in on great conversations with entrepreneurs who risk everything chasing the American dream.
Hey everybody, we're back with another episode of Small Business Talk with Jerry. I'm Jerry. Today we have Rob, Rob and Riley from Hiller's Flooring America. I almost said it backwards. But Rob, you want to take a minute and introduce yourself?
I'm Rob Amundsen. I'm general manager at Hiller's. October will be 3 years. I did sales for 6-7 years before that, a year of installing.
Awesome. So you have a little background in the business.
A little bit.
Riley, how about you?
I'm a salesperson out there. I have been with Hiller's for 2.5 years in sales. I installed for 12 years out of the commercial division there. So
okay. For Hiller's?
For Hiller's.
Yep. Okay. Great. So Hiller's has their own installers. It's not all sublet, or is it?
It is all subs.
It is all sublet. Okay, all subs. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So were you exclusive to Hiller's when you installed?
We were, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
How about you, Rob? When you were installing?
Yeah, I wasn't.
Okay.
Riley was more of an installer than I was. I was more of a grunt. I had only 1 year in it, but it still helped me a little bit. But I was only a year of experience.
Oh, sure. But you understand the product a little better when you're
right.
when you're hands on. You're touching it. Yeah, absolutely. So, what got you? I'll start with Rob. What got you into carpet or flooring? I shouldn't say carpet, but flooring.
I moved back to Rochester with no job, and my cousin worked at Hiller's as an installer, and just needed to make some money, so I started doing that for a year, and I got sick of traveling, kind of like Riley did later on. But I mean, the commercial side, you're going all over the state, and there's guys last week that were west of Fargo, 41 miles from Montana, I think. Okay,
so now, if you're general manager, you're in sales, so when he says that you can go that far from home as a salesman, how do you sell someone 4 or 5, 6 hours away carpet or flooring?
Send Gary.
Most of that's commercial.
Okay, but still, how do you? There's a few carpet stores, flooring stores between here and there. So how do you get that job? I mean, being that far from home.
I guess I haven't really had a lot of it is like state contract work that the commercial division does. That's real far away. I guess the furthest like residential one that I could think of would be International Falls.
Damn, that's still a long ways.
Yeah. And then that came from a referral from Dan from Tint and Detail Clinic. So.
Oh, okay. Yep. Dan Rosa. He's good guy. Good guy. He's actually done 2 or 3 podcasts. So he's good friend. Good guy.
There's people like from the clinic though that come down here and will have us sometimes go up and do things up in the cities, or people that live here and have cabins and stuff like that. So.
Yep, that makes sense. We get calls about things like that. It's like, working on cars. It's like, and I don't take them as seriously as I should, because a lot of times I'm like, how many shops do you drive by to get from there to here? Right. And then it's like we're busy, and not that we want to turn away work, but it's like, do you really want to be? Because for me, it's even a warranty issue. Do you want to be that far from home? Because I'm not gonna. If we put that alternator in and that alternator fails, okay, even if it's nothing we did wrong, it's still our alternator. I still want to take care of you. I don't want to leave you out in the cold. And if that car's an hour or 2 hours away, it's like I'm not going to blow smoke. I'm going to be transparent. I'm not going up there to get it. I'm not going to tow it back 2 hours to, put in an alternator that failed. So I just let's, but then we have the nationwide warranties that in our industry, where if we buy an alternator from O'Reilly's, for instance, and you move to the Twin Cities, or it's up there, or you're on vacation in Florida, you call me, you tell me it's bad. I call O'Reilly's, they call the shop that you're working with, find the closest O'Reilly's, they get another one to you, they take care of it. They have a warranty program that all I have to do is make the connection. I'm kind of the middleman. I'm assuming, is that, do you have something like that in your business with the carpet manufacturers or the flooring manufacturers, or is it all on your shoulders?
I think it's all on our shoulders, at least labor-wise. If it's a manufacturing thing and it was that far, maybe if they chose to send someone else, it's more beneficial for them.
Sure.
Instead of having us go back. But I would think most of the time it'd be us going back.
Okay. Yeah. The automotive industry has a pretty good warranty on most of these big companies, the bigger parts companies that are nationwide or at least regional. They've got some pretty good programs that way. So that helps. But matter of fact, just since my surgery, we actually had that exact scenario. And the guy's up, he's up by Duluth somewhere. And he called all mad because, an alternator failed. And it was literally an alternator from O'Reilly's. And it's like, yeah, just told the guys, they called me, what do I do? I'm like, you always deal with the warranty. It's like, just call them back, tell them to settle down. Get it to a shop, call Chris, he's our guy with O'Reilly's. I said, and tell him where it's at, where it's going, what shop it's going to be at, the customer's name, print off an invoice that we did, 6-7 months ago, whatever it was. I said, just get it to him. He'll take care of it. Just tell the guy to don't freak out. It's taken care of. If he lived here, we'd take care of it. This wouldn't be an issue. But I'm not driving to Duluth to fix an alternator, and we don't have to. We have a system in place for it. So tell him, don't freak out. Don't start with telling him we're not going to help him. Obviously we're going to help him. We're just not going to do it, So, but yeah, if you didn't have that, then we'd have to figure something else out. You can't leave people hanging like that. So, do you have much, like with flooring, carpet, laminates, things like that? Do you have much defect issues?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's plenty of it.
Is there?
I mean, it's made all over the place, but yeah, it's like anything. There's always problems with products.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes installation.
I was going to say installation be part of it.
No one's
but
perfect. Everyone makes mistakes. Right?
absolutely. Yeah.
We stand by everything we do and all of our materials. So
Well, Hiller's has got a great name. I mean, and how old is Hiller's?
78 years.
Yeah, since 1947. So.
Jesus. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. And where did they start? Was it Rochester? Is it
Iowa.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How long have they been in Rochester?
Ooh, 70s maybe. Was it?
Okay.
And it was down in the karate shop down the street from Hiller's on the same.
Oh, right next to the
Monument shop.
monument
Yeah.
shop. Yeah. Really? That
Mhm.
little building. That's where they started. Okay. And but Hiller's built where they're at now, right? That
Yep.
because I thought I remember that when that went up. I mean, I've lived here my whole life since '71, an old man. So yeah, I thought I remembered when they built that. That was just a swampy, dumpy corner when they.
I don't remember it, but
Oh.
obviously it wasn't there.
Yeah. Well, I just remember trucks and trucks. If I remember right, is dump and fill and build it up. And boy, when it got done, it's like, wow, that really turned into a nice spot. Just yeah. Yeah. So, with what's the biggest challenge you run into? Would you say at Hiller's, besides Riley? No, I'm just kidding.
Challenge, I don't know. As far as, I don't know, coordination and stuff can be.
People want it done
Fun.
tomorrow. Buy it today, do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And and subbing everything out. You're on their schedule to a point, I would imagine.
Yeah, well, we have our schedules and they're all full on our schedules.
Oh,
for,
okay.
Yeah,
If
months.
they're working for someone else, it's at night or on the weekend.
Oh,
'cause
okay.
We got them busy, and we're out a month right now with all the
Okay.
12 or 13 crews we have, something like that.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, that's good business. I mean, that's awesome to be out that far. So do you get in a spot where you bring in subs you don't know just to try and get caught up or get less behind? Or
Try not to.
Try not to.
I mean, you stand by everything you do. If someone comes in quick and does a job and runs off, and
yeah, then you're left holding the bag.
yeah,
Yeah. And then explain to why one of the other guys you gave the job to someone else
Right.
instead of them when they have to fix it now.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I can imagine that'd be a pain in the ass. So, but I mean, I hear your ads here and there, not a ton. I mean, you're not like, I mean, there's another carpet company that was on the radio every 13 seconds, it seemed like, and, but, I don't hear you guys nearly that much, but obviously you're out a month with 13 crews. That's a lot of flooring.
Yeah, I think it's probably just the certain radio stations.
Yeah.
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 What are you listening to?
97.5 usually.
Okay.
That's what I listen to. So old man music, it's back to that.
Right.
Yeah, a little bit of laser here and there. Otherwise, I, of course, with this, I've gotten into listening to more podcasts too. So I don't get as much time on the radio. Like when I drive to work in the morning, it's like literally a 12, 13-minute commute. So you don't get into much
Right.
podcast. You don't get any in depth in that. So I always listen to the radio in the morning going in, and usually the afternoons coming home, I'm on the phone. I'm just I got the Bluetooth phones going in the truck, and it's just always trying to deal with something. Multiple businesses. There's always a fire to put out somewhere or something to discuss. So, but otherwise, like at work, I'll have a podcast rolling in the background or something. But yeah, I mean, I was talking with, just Deb Munich. Matter of fact, today we did one of my businesses, we did a few hundred golf towels for an outing that they're having in a couple weeks or a week and a half, something like that, a golf tournament. And I was talking to her, and she's like, oh, if you want to put this ad together, here's the ad. And she mentioned that flooring company, and I was like, same one that they have. She goes, yep, same program they have. And I'm like, They're on a lot. And she goes, yep. And so she told them how much it was, and I about fell over. I was like, yeah, that's not in my budget for what I do, not for what I need. We're already busy enough. I mean, to be honest, not again, kind of in your shoes. It's like, I don't have a ton of employees in Design HQ, and so, I get 3 part-time people that help out when they can and when I need them, and it's like, yeah, I'm not looking to. I don't even have a building for it at this point. It's all done. It's all done in a garage. But we put a lot of product out, but I don't really need to try to further that yet. We got to get a few other things in line first. But so, what? Start with Riley. Monday morning, you walk in the door. How does your day start? How does your week go?
Well, I just changed my schedule to Monday morning. So
Okay.
before I was Monday afternoon, so I went home and did stuff at the house. Walk in and vacuum the showroom and yeah.
Sure, get things ready.
Yeah.
So do you do any outside sales, or is everything you just in the showroom, waiting for the phone to ring or someone to walk in, or do you go out and solicit? What do you do to bring in business or to talk to people?
It's through the door, customers coming in. The referral groups have been good.
Yep, because you're in
stuff.
Wednesday's SBR group,
Yep.
right? Yep, and Rob's in Tuesday, and we need to chat. The guys called me today and said, don't we have Rob on a Owatonna something? I was like, I'll talk to him tonight when he gets there. I said, so we'll chat you up on that a little bit. But we started a 4th group today. Today's Thursday. So we started our 9 a.m. Rochester group started today. So they had a good turnout and everything went well there. But so how's the referral group? Is that bringing you some business, getting some leads and
Yeah,
good.
for sure.
Good. How about you, Rob? How's it been treating you because you guys have both did you start right away?
Mm-hmm.
Or did you come in late? So you've been in there since August?
Yep.
Good. Yeah, good. So it's been good for Hillers as a whole?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Good.
We've got good business out of it for sure. I enjoy the meetings.
I was gonna say
there's good people in there, just good laughs all the time.
it is. Now I've because it's a lunch meeting, and I just don't take that long a lunch usually because I already do my Tuesday. How's the Wednesday group? The people. I know most of the people in it, and it seems like a wonderful crowd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's great. Yeah,
Good.
we got a good group of us in
Good.
the Wednesday group for sure. Yeah.
Awesome. Had you ever done anything like that before?
No.
No. So this was a new experience from the start.
Yep. Yeah, for
Rob,
sure.
twist your arm a little bit, or was it pretty easy to tuck you into it?
It's pretty easy talking
Okay.
into it. Yeah.
Well, some people are terrified of it, because you got to talk a little bit, you got to stand up, you got to, you kind of center of attention every day for a few minutes here and there, and it's terrifying for if you have a good friend of mine that was in the Wednesday groups. She started it, and she, it was about a month into it. She's like, I just can't do it. I'm like, come on, you're not that busy. And she's like, well, I am busy, but I just can't do it. I can't stand up in front of people. She goes, I literally have a hard time getting to sleep on Tuesday night, knowing Wednesday at lunch, I gotta go and stand in front of people and talk. And
Part of that depends on your group too.
yeah, and that's why, so I talked to Jordan and Doug, and I was like, what are you guys doing on Wednesday? And he was like, no, dude, it's an awesome group, and said the same thing you did, and so, but when I talked to her, she was just like, and she bailed, it's unfortunate because I think it would have been really good for her business, but yeah, she said, but everyone's got their thing, and the anxiety just, it wouldn't allow her to really get in there and capitalize on it. So I felt bad, I wish there was something I could do, but that one's kind of out of my hands, you
Right.
know?
And when I'm saying it depends on your group, that's not like her situation. It's like me with a prior group. I didn't love my prior experience in it. It wasn't enjoyable to go to all the time.
Yeah.
And there's some good things about it, but I enjoy this one. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear that. And that was the point. I spent 20 years in the group you were in, just over 20 years, and I loved most of it. And then that last 2 years after COVID, it never really came back the same. And then you had a couple people there that were just prima donnas that thought they ran the thing, and it was their personal pet project, and it's terrible. They really ruined things. But they're also a group that went from pre-COVID was 61 or 62 members, and here a couple weeks ago I think they were at 14, 15. So, but that's what you get. You got to treat people well, and if you don't, it's going to come back to hurt you. And especially in a like a referral group like that. The referral group is there for you, not the other way around. That's why we call it our priority shift. When we started SBR, it's like this needs to be here for the businesses, not the other way around. If SBR does what we say we're going to do for you guys, see, but we do what we say we're going to do for you guys and deliver. You're going to be there for us. You're going to help us get more members and do the things. You shouldn't have to. I shouldn't have to beg for that. I shouldn't have to demand it. That's just rude, and that's kind of where we were going on the other side. It's like time to do something different. So I really appreciate your support on SBR Group too. Just not to get off the task at hand, but yeah. So
it's also good for personal contacts for getting your own stuff done too.
I'll tell you what. I say that all the time to people. It's like, there's a certain amount of pride that I take in being that guy, because I have so many people, and I'm not bragging. It's just, but it feels awesome when someone calls you that going, hey, who's your plumber? Who do you use for flooring? Who do you, whatever the question is. It's like, and I can't tell you how many times in a week I'm standing at Broadway Car Care, my phone rings. It's like, hey, Jerry, how's it going? Good. How you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Hey, have you got a minute? This has nothing to do with cars today. And I'm like, yeah, what do you got? And they're like, who do you use for, your business lawyer? Who do you use for flooring? Do you have a guy for this? Do you have a gal for that? And most of the time I do. And but it's so awesome that people will reach out. They trust me with their car, but then they reach out going, who do you use for this? And it's, right. Dude, that's a connection. That's huge, And so, yeah, it's so, and like you said, my own stuff, I never want for anything. It's like anything comes up, it's like, Rob would have an answer for me on that,
Mm-hmm.
And if I can throw business your way over it, why would I go elsewhere? I'm not going to ask you about the flooring and then go buy it from Joe's Carpet Shack, or whatever. It's like, we're going to take care of it with you. And if and half the time, those questions lead to, with you and I both, half of the time those questions lead to you telling me not to buy something, or don't buy what you think you want to buy, get this instead, or don't spend that much, good Lord, buy this instead, you'll be better off and you'll spend half the money, or whatever. It's about the people, and you've always been that guy that, and I'm assuming working now with Riley, I assume you're that guy too. I don't know you, of course, but you've always been that guy to give the right advice for me, not what's better for Hiller. Like we just had that story about your lady that you told me off air, and it's like you could have went in and sold her whatever you wanted, and that wasn't going to help her, And the fact that you recognize that and you're willing to, wash away a slam dunk, because that's what it is. That's just, it's not free money, but it's a real job. It's revenue. It's profit. It's what you're there for, and to just go, that's not right. That's awesome, because a lot of guys aren't that way. It's just like, well, she asked for it. I'm not doing her a disservice. This is what she wanted. I'll give it to her. It's like, no, take a minute and explain to her what she needs, what she should have. And if it's nothing, it's nothing, So, no, I've always appreciated that about you. And so I was really happy when, did he tell you the SBR story? We get SBR going. It wasn't going yet. We were just getting it started. We'd had a meeting amongst the investors and myself. And like literally I think it was 4 or 5 days after he calls, he says, hey, he said, what do you think about your chapter, your networking group? I'm like, how do you know about that? He's like, dude, you've been in it forever. I'm like, oh yeah, that networking group. No, I'm not in there. They kicked me out. And he's like, what? I was like, he goes, I was just thinking we should do something with that. I'd like to get Hillers back, into something like that. And I was like, funny you should ask. I said, the reason they kicked me out is because I'm starting my own. And he's like, no shit. And I'm like, yeah. So we sat, and that was how you guys came to SBR. Was Rob called me saying, what do you think? How's that chapter? Has it gotten better since I left? Should I come back? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, you shouldn't come back. No, don't do that. But when he said, tell me about this networking group, I'm like, how do you know about this? I was like, it was amazing. It's like, nobody knows about this yet other than the people that gave me money for it, And he's like, no, you were in it for 20 years. Oh, yeah. Yeah, don't do that. Give me a chance. Give me a chance with the new one. So I'm glad it's working out for you. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. So hoping at Owatonna, we're thinking one chapter there. It looks like we're going to have two soon. They should be starting here in the next, I'm thinking, few weeks or so. So that'll be good. And then, like I said, we got our 4th Rochester one going. So hopefully we can help a few more people get some business, get some referrals, get their name out there. So what do you guys do do you guys put much into social media? Do you, as far as Hillers goes, do you guys put much effort into that?
boss keeps changing it up and spreading it around. I mean, it's tough to find where everyone's seeing it. You know, I mean, we're in a little bit of radio, TV, social media, streaming. I mean, we're everywhere. Spread it out a little bit to try to figure out where to get. It's kind of more our generation. You got to try to figure out how to target.
Well, so do you get involved in that as general manager? Is that much on you, or is that?
Not really. Joe's pretty good at it. The owner, boss, and he kind of does all the marketing part of it. Flooring America, that we're a part of the CCA group, they do some of it as well. So.
Oh, so Flooring America is like a bigger...
Part of CCA, like us and Carpet One are both part of the same national buying group.
Okay. Because that's, I mean, obviously I'm assuming that's the hard part. I mean, is volume to get pricing, is the amount of volume you have to have competitive pricing.
Yep.
So so is there anybody in Rochester that buys more carpet than you? No?
Oh,
unless Home Depot or someone does, but unless one of the box stores do, no.
No. But as far as like an actual flooring store goes, I mean, I'm sorry, but if you go to Home Depot or, Menards to get your carpet, you got to cross that bridge yourself. You're asking for. I mean, I just think that's just not the place I would go to get flooring. I mean, in my opinion, I just.
No, there's a guy that retired from Hiller's 3-4 years ago. He always used to tell people when they'd bring that up, he'd go, "We don't sell toilets and hammers. We just do one thing and try to do it right."
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, that's just it. I mean, yeah. I wouldn't want to. I don't think I would. I guess there's always an argument depending if you're shopping a brand versus brand, it should be the same carpet, right? But then you look at who are they hiring for installers. I mean, we already covered that. It's like you don't just hire, if you have an extra job, you don't just go find somebody that can put carpet in. It's like we have guys that we know, that we trust, that we like, and they're a month out. We'll see you next month. It's like, I mean, just, it might be inconvenient that I have to wait a month, but I know the carpet. Like I said, I don't have to tap into your knowledge on toilets and water heaters, right? I mean, I can talk to you guys about carpet. And then I know that when the guy comes, it's not just some guy that you went, yeah, he's available today and he hasn't worked in a while. Let's just send him to Jerry's and have him throw carpet in and see if he likes it, Mm-hmm. No, I want to know that you know what you're doing and that your guys are good at what they do. So it does make me feel good when I say, so if you get behind, you just bring in another new sub. Take that pretty serious.
We don't have anybody that ever tries to compete or like bash against other stores or anything either doing as a sales tactic. But I have asked our reps from our distributors, about a product that's in a box store, like the same exact product that's in our store, and their price is astronomically lower, and they literally are different. They're made differently, made with different fillers or made thinner. It's
so just because it's, brand ABC Berber, it's not in the same color. It's not the same carpet.
No, I mean sometimes it could be, but a lot of times it isn't.
Yeah.
I mean, just make it specifically for them.
Yeah.
They can buy especially if you have, so they can request what they want it made, right?
Well, if you're talking Flooring America, I got to believe that they have some say in the quality that gets put together. It's like I have good friends that have been clients for years. They work across the street from Broadway at Kemp's at the Marigold plant. They make ice cream. And so, a lot of times they'll come over because, they sell to their employees, and when they get overstocked, things are getting close to date or something, they'll get rid of it. And we'll have those guys, they'll come over and they'll drop off a couple gallons of ice cream or a box ice cream sandwiches or, something. And so I asked him, I said, okay, so you guys make all this ice cream and it's all different brands. He goes, yeah, we have, dozens and dozens of brands that, different brand name buckets that the ice cream goes in, boxes, buckets, whatever. I was like, so it's all the same ice cream? No. He said, he goes, you want like the top shelf ice cream? Our private our label is top shelf. But he said, in our local area, who they sell to locally that gets the best of the ice cream that they make is Quick Trip and Target. The Market something is your home
pantry.
Market Pantry. Yeah, that's it. That's their home label. He said that is their premium ice cream, and then the Quick Trip brand is the premium ice cream. And he said, so that's only two things that you can buy locally without buying like actual Kemp's Marigold top shelf or Kemp's Premium, I think they call it. But those three ice creams are the same, different flavors. They do flavors differently. But he said the quality of the actual ice cream. It's like I've always liked Quick Trip ice cream. Yeah. So that made me feel pretty good. It's like, okay, so I'm an ice cream snob, even if I go to the convenience store, but that's all right. But right, I mean, and he's like, no, so we have multiple grades of ice cream and ingredients and cost, And like he said, depending, some of these companies, when they're buying small quantities, they're getting low grade ice cream in comparison, the lower grade, and they're paying more than like Quick Trip might for the premium because of the volume. So when you have a company like that, Carpet One, that's a big, I mean, are they nationwide or are they regional?
Carpet One's nationwide.
Nationwide. So that's a big buying group you're part of. I mean, that's huge. So yeah, that comes with perks. People don't understand in the tire industry, used to hear that all the time. Well, this tire is made by
I
Michelin.
should correct it though. We're Flooring America, not Carpet One. Us and Carpet One are part of CCA.
Oh, okay. So
Global.
Flooring America is not the
No,
buying group. That's you.
Us and Carpet One are both a part of CCA.
CCA is the
Correct,
buying group. The
correct.
big. Okay. Yeah, I misunderstood that. So that's my
okay.
bad. But yeah, in the automotive industry, you hear people tell you all the time, "Well, this tire is made by Michelin. Michelin's the king of the hill." Michelin is the king of the hill, in my opinion. I think they are one of the better manufacturers. But Michelin has a arm of Michelin. It's Michelin America Small Tire. So it's called MAST. And they make tires for, I mean, if the three of us want to start a tire company, we go to MAST and you lay out a design, a plan, give them a recipe for a tire, they make it. Now, if it's the best tire that's ever going to be put on the road or it's the worst tire that's ever going to be put on the road, they build it to our specs. And we just give them the specs, tell them how many you're going to buy, and they go, okay, well, based on quantity, and this is what it's going to take to manufacture it, as far as material and labor, this is what it's going to cost for your tires. So then that's how we price it. But to tell people, well, this is made by Michelin, so it's the best tire out there. It's it's a Michelin. No, it's not. Mast produces way more tires than Michelin branded tires, and Michelin has their own recipe. They have their own blueprint for their tire, and they're great and they're expensive. So when you go to these and you see some private label tire that's half the price of a Michelin, like, oh, it's made by Michelin. Well, it is. Technically, that is a true statement. But to try and imply that it's made by Michelin, therefore it's the same quality, that's the same thing as your big box store thing. It's like, no, it can be brand ABC, Berber, or whatever. I'm not a carpet guy. I don't know the terminology, but but that doesn't mean that's how that doesn't mean it's the same. So yeah, I get what you're saying there, especially when you see that kind of cost difference. When you look at Hillers and Carpet One both buying, that's a tremendous amount of flooring that you'd be buying. For someone to come in and be able to undercut you by a little, a Home Depot, I get that. But to undercut you by a lot, there's something else going on than just volume. Yeah, it's not the same. There's no way. No, I get that. So that's great. So I put you on the spot. We didn't talk about this. If you guys were doing a commercial for Hillers right now, the people listening, you want to convince them somebody is going to listen to this that's in the market for new flooring. Put Riley on the spot. He's the salesman. Give me a commercial. What are you going to tell the guy, the gal, the family that's listening right now that they're getting ready to go shopping this weekend for carpet or for flooring, period? Why come to you?
Selection. I mean, if you come, you've been in the showroom.
I have. It's a big. That's a big ass showroom. That's
huge.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like an aisle between the water heaters and the hammers, like you said.
Yeah. No, and we display it all on the ground, so you get to walk on it and feel it and see what it's like. We stock a ton of stuff, so a lot of stuff is volume discounted, so it's good carpet for a cheap price too. So
Remnants?
We have a ton of remnants, yeah.
So if and I'm going to preface this by looking at the camera and saying I am not that guy, but if I was that guy that said, I'm going to redo this bedroom, but I just need a piece of carpet, I'll take care of it myself.
Sure.
You guys would help me out and
Yeah.
maybe give me a few pointers because I'm an idiot and I probably shouldn't be doing the carpet myself. And
Sure.
And then you'll send me a sub a month from now when I screw it all up and have to redo it.
Yeah, that's the problem. If it's not professionally done, then that's a way for them to get out of their warranties and all the products from the manufacturers.
Sure, I bet it is. Yeah, I bet it is. But so from the grandparent that couldn't lay out carpet anymore physically to the guy that thinks he can do it all, you guys can help from start to finish.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And like when you talk about laying out floor and walking on it, different backing, I imagine, so that you have. I mean, like when you guys walk through here, when you walk through the game room to get to the poker room podcast studio, that has the pool table in the game room. So it has that really short, I don't know what kind of carpet it is, but it's super short, almost like a commercial napped, really thin, and there's no back on it. It's really glued to the concrete because I didn't want the pool table to settle. And you're playing pool, I don't need it. But then you come in here, this room has a fairly thick pad and it's a thicker carpet, and so you can kind of show me the difference of that. If I came in and wanted to do these two rooms, you could show me what that would be versus this would be. Kind of make it make sense.
Yeah, all the different thicknesses of carpet are all throughout the showroom. LVP, laminate, wood, tile.
LVP. Talk to me like I'm a 4-year-old. What's that?
Luxury vinyl plank.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
It's a lot of people are putting it in.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, everything's on the ground, so you get to check it out, see what it's like.
How many square foot is your showroom? That thing's big. That's.
I should know this.
That was a general manager question. You have to get him on the spot. I told you I wouldn't try to put you on the spot or embarrass you, but I think I got you.
I've never measured anything I've installed in there, so.
That's a big ass showroom, though.
I don't even know the answer. How to even guess? I just sit here and think about all the things we've installed, Riley, and try to add up numbers. And
Well, just trust me, folks. Go to Hiller, right on 63 and 52 South Rochester. Hiller Flooring America. The place is awesome inside. It's. I haven't been in it in probably 5 years, 6 years now. But I mean, the last time I'm assuming probably hasn't changed a lot, other than the carpet that's down. I mean.
Yeah, a couple walls taken out.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit of remodeling here and there.
Okay. Yeah, big showroom. It's nice. It's clean.
I think the biggest thing about us is the knowledge of our staff. I mean, Riley's the newest we have a new salesman that started here in the last month, still in training, but otherwise Riley's the newest salesman we got.
Oh, wow.
So,
And you said it's been a couple of years?
2.5, yeah.
2.5, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, the knowledge, I mean, the guys at the box stores have a lot more stuff to know, from all the different things they have. I mean, we pretty knowledgeable, and things change a lot. I mean, I think you asked earlier about, like, the biggest challenges we have.
Yeah.
And I think it's, like a lot of things in the world, is the internet, just because the false information people can get.
Oh, sure, because I walk in
you
thinking I'm
want
a
to tell them
carpet
one
guy,
thing and they
thinking
say, well, the internet said this. And It's
Yeah.
like, well, I can get you the information from the manufacturer. Like, this is what you have to go by. You can't go by what you read on the internet.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah, I was on a blog and my grandma's best friend said this was terrible. And yeah, I spent 5 minutes on Google and like walk in and tell you how to run your business. That's in every business, I think, now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially. But yeah, I can see, especially in like carpeting, it's a technical thing. It's like so here's another question. So I asked you earlier how you get your leads, and you talked about SBR, and you said, people coming in, phone ringing, people walking in your door. So with that being said, so I walk into Hiller's, and I tell you I've got my game room next door, I've got the podcast room here, and I've got this, I don't know what, tan speckled carpet that's in here. Doesn't really fit the red, white, and black. So if I wanted to come in and put like a red and black checkerboard something, like maybe some square tiles, like carpet tiles. But do I have to go home and you're going to give me a cheat sheet on how to measure the room?
No.
Or because you're in the store, do you come out?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So walk me through that. I was in your store yesterday and I told you I got a couple rooms. I don't know carpet. I don't want to know carpet. I don't want an education. I'm not going to lie. I'm busy and I don't care. I want the carpet to be under my feet and I want it to be comfy. I want it to look good and I want it to last a while. The rest of that's on you. That's what I want. I need you to sell me the carpet and then get it to my house. So where do we go from there?
So you've already came in and picked something out.
I came in, we picked it out, we went through that, and but how much do you need?
Yep. So call us. We have our full-time estimator. He goes out Tuesday through Friday measuring. Otherwise, I measure a bunch of my own stuff. Rob measures a bunch of stuff for everybody too. So come out, measure it, check everything, kind of figure out, what
So you
else
do
gotta
send
be
somebody to
done.
the house, so I don't have to sit here and fumble,
No.
fart around with trying to measure this and
Anywhere.
assume I get it right.
Yeah,
So,
no.
because obviously this room, I think I could handle this room. it's a rectangle, but you start talking about stairs or going, odd shaped room or a L hook or something. I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't know where to go with that.
we don't charge anything for it either, no matter where it is. We go and
Really?
measure for free. I mean, Park Rapids, wherever it is, we go for free and measure it. So.
Because when we're in the store, all we can really do is talk about price per square foot or yard or however it's sold, right? We can't really talk about what it's going to cost me because you haven't seen it.
A lot of people will bring, like, I've got, 500 square feet, but in terms of carpet, 500 square feet's not just 500 square feet. You got 12-foot roll, so
Right, yeah.
you got to factor all that in. So you got to explain that to them. Like, I can, give you 500 square feet as an estimate, but it's not going to be exactly right.
Right. Yeah,
So-
because you're not going to piecemeal 500 square feet on a 12-foot roll. If it's an 11-foot room, you're going to have a foot of scrap
Yeah.
on the end. I mean, you're not going to. Sure. Yeah, I get that. So that's why I say we can talk like square footage or pricing that way too, but it's still just an estimate until you come in and measure it.
Yep.
You really don't have anything solid, a real quote.
Carpet's the easy one. I mean, the hard surface stuff is the tough stuff, and we tried to pride ourselves on sticking to bids. Every now and then, though, you have to try to get people to understand you don't have X-ray eyes and you can't see underneath
Oh,
the
yeah.
carpet till you tear it up. And if you're going to put a different hard surface in after that, and their concrete's busted up,
Sure.
you got to discuss self-leveling or prep. And
So how much of that work do you guys do? You have subs for that, or is that like if you tear up my carpet? If I want a hard surface in here, which probably wouldn't be a bad idea, to be honest, for a podcast. Well,
It might echo a little.
echo. Yeah, I guess I'd still want to stay with carpet, but in that room, hard surface would be great. With in the game room with pool table and the dartboard and stuff. But so you tear that up and the concrete's a mess. Do you just walk out and go call me when the carpet or concrete's fixed, or do you guys have a solution for that? Obviously, more money, but I mean, it is what it is. It's my problem. But yeah, what do you do with that?
It's our guys. It's the same guy that comes in that tears your floors out is the one that's most likely doing the floor prep, unless it's a whole big self level and
sure.
whoever's doing it can't do it by himself type of thing. But they fix it and take care of it
Oh, okay,
and put floors on.
okay. So
we
I
have
don't.
guys that do just carpet, and we have guys that do just plank, guys that do it all. That's kind
Sure.
of keep guys where they can succeed more. And
Yeah,
instead of
absolutely.
putting them in bad positions. So.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Don't take your best salesman and make him your worst manager. I mean,
Right.
you see that in business all the time, or vice
They
versa.
already did that with me.
Yeah. I know the place hasn't burnt to the ground yet. I think you're doing something right. 13 crews a month out. I don't think we can complain too much about Rob's general management skills. That's no. So that's not because I say I could see where that would be a flooring company, and all of a sudden concrete. It's like that's not your jam. So, but it is actually. So if it's all cracked up, you guys would fix that. I mean, just give me a quote on the spot. I
Yeah,
would
I mean,
imagine
every
it'd
now
kinda
and
be
then
like,
you get somewhere where the subfloor's rotted down to the joist. And then
Sure.
you say, all right, well, we got to get a contractor down to the joist. But otherwise, we tear out subfloor and do
oh
the
sure. I mean, there's
underlayment
extreme.
and-
I get that, but I mean, but
most
for
of the
most part-
basements aren't too crazy with self-leveling and stuff. A lot of it's more grinding and stuff. And again, we try to. A lot of times you can kind of notice as you're walking, so we try to
Sure.
put a little floor prep in and say, hopefully this is worst case scenario.
Yeah.
The worst thing we ever want to do is call someone and try to ask for more money. We try not to,
Right.
unless it's out of hand. But
Yeah, but on the same token, it's my house.
Right.
If something's messed up in it, I mean, I may not understand the gravity of the situation, but I know it's not right. I mean, it's with cars. I mean, Broadway
Right.
car care, same thing. When I call someone and tell them, I don't usually call with a big bill and they're like, oh my God, I had no idea. They're like, yeah, we knew something was up. We knew something wasn't right, and but they didn't know what it was. Obviously, that's what we're for, just like you guys. I don't.
most of the reason that is, as well as when I was talking about the knowledge of stuff online versus the manufacturer's warranties. It's like with LVP, what is it? You got to be within like 3/16 of an inch and 8 or 12 feet or something like that.
8 feet.
Of level.
Yes.
Okay.
Not flat, just level. And if it's
Yeah.
not, then it can't be warranted because they're not going to stand by it. So how do we stand by
Right.
it? But you have to try to let someone that doesn't know flooring understand that in their
Right.
home, right?
Right.
After you've already agreed to something.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and like the game room next door, it was just a concrete floor when we moved in, and there's a drain over in this corner. And so we had to look at that going, we had plumbed a new drain because the laundry room, I'm assuming, used to be over here. When we moved in, it was all plumbed in and it was back here, but no drain. So we had them dig it up and they put a drain right there so we could have a wash basin next to the washing machine and dryer. And so now this is still connected, so it could back up, but we talked about capping that. But then, I mean, it's down probably 1.25 inches to the drain from a 5-foot slope. Well, when you walk around the pool table, it's like, yeah, it does dip down a little bit there. You can feel it. It's kind of ghetto that way. But it was like, what do you want to do? And Dennis Farlow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, him and Dave DeFrank did the carpet in there.
He was at Hiller's yesterday.
Yeah. good guys. I mean, and Dave and Darwin, my partner at Broadway, you know, they were brother-in-laws years ago, so they're super tight. And so he came in and they did this, but you know, and so I asked Dennis and Dave, and I'm just like, he's like, you got a floor drain in here. What are you going to do with that? I'm like, well, it's tied into this one over here. Okay, so this isn't the only one. I'm like, no. He's like, well, what do you want to do with it? Should we cap it and fill it? Was that our only, I imagine, you know, want it level, right? And he goes, well, I don't live here. I don't care if it's level or not. He says, what do you want, you know? And so I was like, well, do we have another option? I don't, give me some choices. What, if I have choices, what are they? He goes, well, you know, we can cap it and level it and come back in a couple days and, you know, put carpet down. But he said, we can just glue the carpet. He said, we're going to use, because you don't want pad under it because it's pool table room, like, because it was empty, of course, at the time. I'm like, right, I don't want any pad. I want that pool table to level and sit and not move. And she's like, we can just lay the carpet, follow the groove, glue it down. He said, it's not right, but it's your house. As long as you know I'm doing it, I don't feel bad about it. You know, I'm not going to do it and then tell you we did it, because he said it really probably should be filled. And so I talked to the wife and I was like, they said, if we glue it, we do it today. If not, we fill it today and come back in next week or a couple days or whatever and carpet it. And he was, I don't know, it was only like another couple $100 or something. It wasn't a ton of money difference. I was just like, I don't know, what would you do if it was yours? I mean, I don't really think I care. And he's like, well, if you don't care, I don't care. He says, there's nothing wrong with it. It'll work. So that's what we did. And yeah, and then we did have a sewer backup, not sewer, but it's clean water, but still it was a backup. But with that carpet, we vacuumed it. Had back when Norm Autry owned Grainwright, he came in and cleaned it out, and then Keith Richardson with White's, when he owned White's, he came in and he cleaned it out, but he didn't have to tear up drywall, which was good. But he came in with fans and he got everything all cleaned up. And he was like, "Yeah," he said, "Is there no pad under your carpet?" I'm like, "Nope, no pad." Really? I'm like, "Yeah." So I told him the story. Pool table, glue it down. He goes, let's dry it out then. So he came in with his little scrubber and he, vacuumed it as much as he could, and then they put the fans on it for 2 or 3 days, and we never had any mold or anything come up, and it's like perfect. But it never went like up the wall like inches. It was just kind of, that 1/4 inch of the thickness of the carpet. It was just, the carpet was wet. And yeah, so they cleaned it all up and it worked out really good. It could have been a lot worse. And so then we had Drainwright. He cleaned everything out all the way to the street. So we hopefully don't have that issue again anytime soon. But yeah, but that's another thing. So then I did call Dave and Dennis again, and I said, he's got the fans on, he's doing all the scrubbing, but I said, is that carpet, should I leave that in there? This room was still just bare concrete. This wasn't a bedroom yet. We hadn't dug the egress window or anything for the boys yet. This was right after we moved in. And he was like, if your restoration guy says run with it, run with it. Okay. I was just kind of like your old lady this morning, like, are you sure you shouldn't just buy new carpet again? Should we not do this? And he's like, if your restoration guy says it's good, it's good. He said, you have to cut drywall? I'm like, nope. Well, it could have been very deep. No, it was just wet. It wasn't deep. It was just wet. Let him do his thing. And he said, if you get some weird smells down there, call us and we'll come in and see if we can, what we need to do. And that was 10 years ago, 12 years ago. So, but I was Dave and Dennis were like, yeah, you sure? But yeah, so it's nice. It's nice that you've got good guys that work for you, because having a good recommendation on what to do when you don't know what you're doing, it's different for you guys. You know carpet. I don't. And like I said earlier, I don't want to. I don't want you to educate me. I mean, there's times where I'm like, yeah, I'd like to know more about that. Not in carpet. You know what I mean? It's like, no offense, but it's like that's just not my jam. I don't have any reason to know more about carpet. I've got my guys, So I just, when I need something, I'll just call you and just come take care of it. So, matter of fact, Heather was just talking about the couple of the bedrooms upstairs. She had hedgehogs for years, and we cleaned the carpets, we did everything, and it still smells like a hedgehog in there. So I'm thinking it's just time to tear up the carpet and repaint the walls, get rid of some of that stuff. But now she's been sending me hedgehog videos on my phone. So I'm like, maybe we'll wait a little bit and just see if we get one of those little critters again. But because they leave a mark.
I bet.
But what else should we know about Hillers though? I mean, if again these people on the fence that want to buy something, you've got great installers, you've got real knowledge, you've got better product. I mean, that you get good pricing on. selection. I mean, huge showroom. So, and I mean, obviously, you guys, like every carpet store, I'm sure you have that wall of samples or squares that are things that you don't necessarily have on hand, but you can get for me.
Yeah. I guess there's other things to know. I guess we always are just there for the people to try to help them. Nice thing about having two guys, at least minimum of two guys that have the install background as well, is when things happen to installers, there's times when Riley and I go out and install jobs.
Oh, sure, yeah.
A couple weeks ago, actually our new guy that's in training had to go out and work a job with me. Had a guy go to the hospital, so I had to go change clothes and jump on the job and go help. So
Sure, because it's already started. You can't just leave a customer with a
right
half roll of carpet installed. And,
right. Or
Sure.
I mean, the day of, the schedule's so busy, you can't call someone and say, "Oh, sorry, that guy's sick.
Yeah.
I'll be there in a month when they're available again." You gotta
Right.
figure out a way. So
Right.
do what you gotta do to help
Yeah.
people out.
That says a lot about your character too, though, for both of you. You were installers. You're not, obviously for a reason, but then still willing to go out there to take care of the customer. That's huge. Because
What was the one that you and I did? Was that like the morning of we found that out? I don't remember.
Yeah, the laminate one.
Yeah.
Yep, that morning, and then Nick freed up and came out and
In the
finished it
afternoon
up
to
for
finish
us.
it up so we can go back to work.
so you're saying the Menards guys, they're not gonna hang up their smock and come over to my house and finish.
I don't even know how it works there. I'm pretty sure they give you a list of people to call and say, "Here, call these people to."
Oh, sure.
I
they
don't even
even-
think they set the
They don't
installers
set
up for
they
you.
don't set it up. They just give you a list of call these guys.
Yeah, so if
and-
that guy bails on you, then call
Yeah,
another
it's-
guy, I guess. I
right.
don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, no thanks. And Menards has its place. I'm not trying to
love
bash
Menards.
Menards. Yeah, I was gonna say I love Menards. I don't mean to sound like I'm bashing Menards, but I can honestly I wouldn't buy carpet there. You know, there's plenty of things I am that guy. I can't drive by Menards without my wallet just crying like a little bitch. I do every time I walk in there. I got to go get some weed and feed, and come out pushing a cart with a crappy wheel on it and try to load the truck and find room for everything. It's like, and the wife's like, what is going on? I'm like, Amazon. We're not having this conversation. And she just laughs at me, and we're done. We don't talk about it. But yeah, she's like, you're not going to Menards, are you? That's an hour and a half. I'm like, it's like 12 minutes down the road. She goes, I know it's 12 minutes down the road. It'll be an hour and a half. I won't just be home before dinner. It's like I'm 12. I'm like, and she's usually right. It's usually an hour and a half. But yeah, so I love Menards. But yeah, carpet. I don't know. I don't know that I would buy carpet. It's kind of Randy Donahue and I had this conversation. It's like, I like the fact that I can walk in there and I can look at carpet, I can look at tile, I can look at a refrigerator, I can check out venting for my HVAC unit. You know what I mean? It's like I can buy a can of spray paint. You can do all these things. But when I was talking with Randy from Appliance Village, it's like, it's cool to walk in and I'll maybe go look at refrigerators, or if I'm looking for a new freezer or something, I'll go look while I'm there because I'm there for something else. I'm there picking up whatever I'm picking up. And I'll go look. But again, I don't think I would buy appliances. Well, I won't, from a big box store. I'm going to call Randy and go, I was in Menards the other day, or I was in Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever. Excuse me. And he's like, why are you looking at appliances? Because I was there. I was there. Because to your credit, like you said, if I come to you, what am I going to look at? I'm going to look at flooring, right? Yeah. I mean, so if I'm not in the mood to go buy flooring, but I'm in Menards, and it's like, Heather wants to do something with that bedroom. So you kind of go look around. And at that point, I'm not going to remember it. I don't want to retain it, but I'm going to know the difference between whatever this is and whatever's in that room. And I'm going to look at that going, yeah, I like this. But now I can come to you and I have a little knowledge. I'm not going to tell you how to do your job, but I know what I'm looking for. So I don't want to walk into a carpet store and go, yeah, I need some frizzy stuff. Maybe that thick. It'll sound like an idiot. You should at least kind of know what you're talking about. And I've done that with appliances too. You kind of look through there and walk through and figure out what you're doing, because again, it's convenient. I'm already there for something else, but I'm not going to buy it there. But like I say, Menards, they got plenty of things to sell me.
Yeah, right.
And I guess this kind of piggyback where you were earlier talking about not servicing someone so far away, because you're not going to get, you can't go get a car.
Yeah.
We can go up and fix someone's carpet 3 hours away, but you're not going to go get their car.
Right.
The service after the sale is the most important part, right? About staying alive in business, right?
It is.
Getting your referrals and stuff. And we have our own service department that goes and inspects everything, files claims when things are wrong, and we take care of it all. I'm pretty sure there's other places that have you call a 1-800 number and
Sure, and they
deal
pawn
with
you
it,
off.
claim your own,
Yep.
and or run from
Which
the
is what
issues
that's how
and-
it is in my industry. That
Right.
is what you do, and I'm not proud of it per se, but it is a system that's there. It's the same system everybody else uses. It does work, but I'm giving my customer to somebody else. But what I like about it, it sucks when someone's on vacation and that happens. I mean, you're still kind of the hero because you facilitated it and got them back on the road. But if you move and we have to do that, I don't feel so bad about it because now that new mechanic that you picked, he's got the warranty, and he's close to you. Where if that new alternator that they just put in fails again, well, now that mechanic, that shop, they can deal with it in-house, which is what they'd want to do. It's what I'd want to do. I'd rather have you bring it back to me, but I'm not going to expect you to drive 2 hours to do that, you know. But like I say, with you guys, it's a different story. It's in your house. You're not, you know, I'm not going to cut out a sample of it and bring it to you and go, what do you think went wrong with this? You know, it's, or whatever, you know.
And we stand by everything. So even if we moved on from an installer or someone retired, and because they have to warranty their work, the installers.
Sure.
But if they've moved on from Hillers will pay another installer to go take care of it. We're still
Sure.
going to stand by our stuff.
Right.
I don't know how that works with every other store and business.
Yeah, I
around
don't
and
either.
Take care of their issues, but we're always going to stand by what we do.
But that's awesome. And like I say, I've always, everything I've ever heard, I've never heard anyone bash Hillers that they didn't take care of things or whatever, you know. And like I said, has there been problems? Sure. We're human beings. You know, manufacturing, you don't make the carpet. So if I put it in my house and 2 years later something's wore out on it already, I'm not blaming you for that. Now, if you come in and say, oh, our installer did goof this up, it whatever, it's not right. I mean, I'm talking about my, you know, I have no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to carpet. But point being, I know that if I bring you back in, you're like, yeah, we've had trouble with this carpet, we'll take care of it. Or you're like, oh, this looks like an installer problem. I don't know the difference between bad carpet and bad install, you know, but you will, and you'll be straight with me. I mean, I trust you. I wouldn't question it one bit. Just take care of that. And that's the small town thing, you know. So I think it's great that you guys travel as far as you do, because that means more people have the availability of good service. But from a small business standpoint, though, too, like what you said just a minute ago, service after the sale. If your service before the sale is terrible and someone still buys, shame on them. I mean, right? You know, I mean, shame on them. But how many companies do you know where the service before the sale is spectacular, and then you buy, and then it's crickets? It's you. They don't want to answer the phone. They're not going to help. They don't. It's like, dude. I mean, carpet. It's not like if I come to you and even just a bedroom. That's not like $30. You know, I mean, you're spending. It's money. You know, I mean, you're going to spend. Especially if I come in and tell you I need a few bedrooms or I need my house done. We're going to sell it. Whatever. I mean, you're talking thousands of dollars. I don't want to hate you because I spent thousands of dollars and then you ignore me, you know. So that's the thing. Service after the sale is huge. Because like I said, if you say, oh, I should have expected this, the service before the sale is terrible. Why did you buy from them? I mean, you know, that shame on you for that. But when service was great beforehand and not after, that's terrible business. But you know, you don't make it from the 40s. You know, you don't make it 78 years if you don't take care of people after the fact. That's way before we had Google reviews and Facebook, you know, reviews and all the, you know, all the online, you know, jargon that goes on. You still look at longevity. If you've been around for 80 years I mean, Hillers is not a small business, but it's not nationwide, massive, you know. So it's still a smaller business. You don't survive for 80 years if you don't take care of people, you know. So you don't need a pile of good reviews to prove that. I mean, that's how many, you know. My question would be, if you want to talk about longevity, how many carpet stores have opened and closed in the time Hillers has been doing business? Just imagine trying the number. I mean, it's got to be astronomical. Because 78 years, that's enough time for a guy like Riley. I mean, you're a young guy. To have a guy like you say, I'm going to start my own carpet company, be successful, run it till retirement, and then sell it or close it, and not go broke, not make mistakes, just really run a good business, but run the business to its entirety, your adult life until you're ready to retire, and then my kids don't want it, it's a small town, whatever, and you just close the doors. That would happen easily in that 78-year span too. I'm not just talking about counting failures. I'm talking about stores that didn't exist when Hiller started, and they didn't exist when they end, you know, today, but they existed somewhere in the middle. There's a lot of good stories and a lot of terrible stories, I'm sure. But that says a lot to Hillers and to you guys, being part of it. So, well, we're creeping up on an hour. Anything you guys would like to add? Personal, business, Hillers, Rochester? Not all at once. Take your turns, guys. Quit fighting over this.
I don't know.
Putting you on the spot. Well, then how about this? If for that 3 people in Rochester area that have never heard of Hillers, how do we get a hold of you guys? If they're ready to, if they want to come and see Riley or Rob and talk carpet, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Best way to get a hold of Hillers is just a call right to our phone. It's just 507-288-1766.
288-1766.
Yep.
And then address is?
2909 Broadway Avenue South.
Okay, it's literally right on the corner of Highway 63 South and 52. Kitty corner, right across the street from Menard South.
Yep.
I mean, you're right across the highway. So just stop in and look at the selection, be in awe of this massive showroom, and talk to somebody who knows what they're talking about when it comes to flooring.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, guys, thanks for coming out and do it again sometime.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
All right. It wasn't too crazy, too terrible.
No, not at all.
All right, guys. Well, this is Jerry, Small Business Talk with Jerry, signing off. Have a great night. Thanks.